I want to say thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that you actually want to make the initiative to change. So I definitely want to say thank you for that. I want to say thank you for your time because I know it's valuable, and I know that you are worth a lot of money. And that's what we're covering today. The question is, how much is my time actually worth? And that's a great question, because as soon as you know how much your time is worth, you know how much to charge. If you're in the entrepreneur business, you know, where you have clients, say you have clients, then you know how much to charge them per hour or per project, or however you want to have that go. Or if you know how much your free time is worth, even in your life, where you have somebody on the phone for an hour and you ask them, since they've been bullshitting you the whole time, like say you're on the phone with PayPal and they've had you on hold for an hour, how much of that is actually worth? How much of your time is worth in that specific instance? How much our lives are worth, specifically financially, how much I'm worth per hour, how much is my life worth? And this only applies if you're an above average person. So if you're taking my course, free course, 100%, if you're taking my course, this will apply to you. If you are not taking this course and you're just an average person and you're not developing yourself at all, and you're not working to become a better person, then this doesn't actually apply to you. So I implore you and hope that you would take the course so you can actually be worth this amount of money. So the first thing is, how much do you waste in a day? How much time do you waste? And it doesn't necessarily have to be my definition of waste, like whatever you define as wasted time. On average, how much do you think an average person wastes of time in a day? Is it 4 hours? No. Is it 10 hours? No. It's about 6 hours. On average, according to Jordan B. Peterson and his studies that he's done, it's about 6 hours a day is what an average person wastes of their time. 6 hours. And whatever they define as waste, right? It's not me saying that's a waste of time, that's a waste of time. It's whatever they actually define as a waste of time. Alright, so say that you waste 6 hours a day. And say you just do that for 40 hours a week. And then say you do that for a year. How much money are you actually wasting? Well, to get to that problem and to solve that answer, first of all, we need to know how much are we worth per hour. Well, we can safely assume that we're worth at least minimum wage, right? Because that's the minimum. So, for math purposes, you are worth $50 an hour. That's pretty low, actually, but we'll say you're worth $50 an hour because you have the potential to make more money. So we'll say $50 an hour. Times that by 40 hours a week of how much time you're actually wasting, right? How much money is that? 40 hours a week, right? So say you waste 40 hours a week. What time starting point should we use to measure that time that we've wasted? Minimum wage? Should we start there? Because that's the minimum, right? Well, no, because the minimum wage is just a discounted version. It's just a measure that we use to do the minimum that we can reasonably pay. So we can't do the discounted version. If used on something useful, this time that we've been wasting becomes an investment. So we can't use minimum wage to solve this problem. So if we use $25 an hour, if you're smart, right, we'll just say you're worth $25 an hour. That's like $1,000 a week, if you do the math, $1,000 a week, $50,000 a year. Okay, still with me? In 4 years, that would be $200,000. You're wasting $200,000 of your time in 4 years. And ask yourself, can you afford that? If somebody said, hey, no, Joel, I don't want that $200,000, you can keep it. That's what you're saying with their time. That's right, that's what you're saying. I'm just going to waste my time, I'm okay with wasting my time, well, therefore you forfeit that $200,000, right? you could say I'm worth at least minimum wage, but I think that's a poor and inaccurate way to describe how much your time and your money's worth. Because we don't get paid per hour. We get paid off of the value we add to company A, or the specific company within that hour, right? So if I work as a marketer, right, for 1 hour, and I generate them $150, we'll say $50,000. I cut a $50,000 deal. How much is my time worth for that 1 hour? The answer would not be minimum wage, and the answer would not be $50,000. The answer would be whatever the agreed upon wage I agreed to get paid per hour to get this deal, right? And what I mean by that is, if I closed a $50,000 deal in 1 hour, $50,000 deal for a marketing company, for a big company, how much is that hour, that specific hour, worth? The answer is at least $150, right? At least $150. What if I don't do any work in that hour? How much is that time worth? Well, the answer is zero, right? Because I didn't add any value. I didn't do any value to the company. I didn't have any perceived value that was added. I didn't put any value in. Therefore, it's worth nothing. I wasted my time, so it cost me my time, but I didn't get any gain from it. I still lost money. So, takeaways from this. If you don't believe me, clock in at home, commit time card fraud, tell your boss that you sat at home for 2 hours and ask him how much he's going to pay you. The answer is he's going to say nothing and you're fired. So basically what we covered is if you commit time card fraud, you'll be fired, right? You are worth at least $150 an hour. You will never get this life back. I bet you right now, Warren Buffett will pay $1 billion to get 1 year of life back. Ask him right now.